Can a single curse change the destiny of a kingdom? Or can love, patient and pure, defeat even the darkest magic? This is a timeless tale of fate and true love. This is a tale of sleeping beauty. Once upon a time, in a kingdom bathed in sunlight and peace, the bells rang in celebration. At last, after years of longing, a princess had been born. The king and queen, overjoyed beyond measure, gazed down at their tiny daughter. "Look at her, my love," whispered the queen. "Aurora, our light, our dawn." The king took her hand and smiled. "May her heart forever shine brighter than our crown." The kingdom rejoiced. Flags fluttered from every tower. Music filled the air, and every fairy in the land was invited to bless the royal child. One by one they arrived, radiant beings of light and color, their wings shimmering like morning dew. One fairy blessed Aurora with beauty brighter than the dawn. Another gifted her with kindness gentle as spring rain. A third blessed her voice, promising it would bring joy to every heart that heard it. The grand hall glowed with magic, until the doors burst open with a thunderous crash. A gust of icy wind swept through, snuffing out every candle. From the shadows stepped Malvera, the ancient fairy who had not been invited. Her cloak shimmered with storm clouds, her eyes burnt like dying embers. "So," she said, her voice echoing through silence, "the kingdom celebrates life and forgets those who once guarded it?" The king rose, trembling. "Malvera, it was not our intent." But she silenced him with a glare. "Intentions are fragile things, your majesty." Her staff struck the marble floor with a crack that echoed like thunder. "On her 18th birthday, your precious princess shall prick her finger on a spindle and fall into a sleep from which she shall never wake." Gasps filled the hall. The queen clutched her child, her eyes full of terror. Before despair could take root, the youngest fairy, Liliana, stepped forward. "I cannot undo the curse," she said softly, "but I can soften it. She will not die, only sleep, until true love's kiss awakens her." Hope flickered once again in the room. The king stood, his voice firm despite his fear. "No spinning wheel shall remain in this kingdom," he declared. "If fate seems to claim my daughter through such a device, then no such device shall exist." The queen nodded, clutching Aurora close. "We will protect her, no matter the cost." The king ordered every spinning wheel in the kingdom destroyed. Bonfires blazed through the night, as wheels turned to ash. But fire cannot burn fate. To protect her, the fairies carried baby Aurora deep into the forest, where sunlight danced through leaves and time seemed to slow. They raised her in a humble cottage, hidden among wildflowers and birdsong. "No titles, no crown," Liliana told as she grew. "Here you are simply Aurora, a girl of the woods." Aurora smiled. "Then I shall be the happiest girl of them all." She learned to gather berries, to talk with the deer, to sing with the birds. Each morning she hummed a tune as sunlight kissed her face. And sometimes she dreamed of a voice she did not know and a face she could not name. Aurora grew into a young woman of grace and beauty, unaware of her true identity or the destiny that awaited her. But destiny was already turning its wheel. When Aurora's 18th birthday arrived, the fairies brought her back to the castle. The king and queen wept to see her again after all those years. The halls shimmered with joy and fear all at once. As twilight fell, Aurora wandered the castle, marveling at its endless corridors and high towers. Then she noticed a narrow staircase that she had never seen before. A faint humming drifted from above, like threads spinning on a wheel. She climbed, drawn by the sound. At the top of the tower sat an old woman bent over a spinning wheel. "Would you like to try, my dear?" the woman asked kindly. "It's quite simple." Aurora's eyes widened. "It's beautiful." She reached out, curious, and pricked her finger. The spindle fell from her hand. Aurora gasped and collapsed, silent as a falling feather. In that instant the curse spread through the castle. One by one, servants and guards fell into slumber. The king and queen froze mid-step, their hands still reaching for their daughter. A hush swept through the kingdom like a long sigh. Liliana arrived moments later. Her heart broke at the sight of sleeping princess. "Then let her sleep in safety," she whispered, "and let hope stand guard." With a wave of her wand, the walls of thorns rose around the castle, living, twisting, and protecting. Years passed, then decades. The forest grew thick and wild. Stories faded into legend of a sleeping princess beyond the brambles, waiting for true love's kiss. 100 years later, Prince Elias, a man of courage and grace, heard the tale from an old bard. Something deep within him stirred. "A sleeping princess," he murmured, "and a promise left unkept? I must find her." Prince Elias mounted his horse at dawn. "My lord," said his adviser, "many have tried and none have returned." Elias looked towards the distant forest. "Then I shall be the first." He rode for days through rain and wind, guided only by faith. The forest loomed before him, dark, twisted, and alive with thorns. When he reached the forest, he found it dark and alive, its vines sharp as claws. Each step cut his skin, but he pressed on, whispering, "No curse can stop a love that never forgot." Lightning cracked as he broke through the final wall of thorns. Before him stood the castle, silent, still, waiting. He pushed open the heavy doors and stepped inside. Prince Elias moved through the silent castle, his footsteps echoing. Past frozen guards, past sleeping servants, past musicians mid-song. Where would they have placed the princess? He wondered, his heart racing. He climbed the grand staircase, searching room after room. Empty chambers, silent halls. Then, at the end of a long corridor, he saw it. A door with golden light spilling beneath it, warm and alive. His breath caught. He knew somehow that beyond that door, his destiny awaited. His hand trembled as he pushed it open. In a sunlit chamber, he saw her, Aurora. She lay upon her bed, draped in silk, untouched by time. Her face was serene as morning light, her golden hair spread like rays of sun. One hand rested lightly on her heart and the other at her side. She looked as if she had just only closed her eyes. For a moment, Prince Elias could not move, could not breathe. She was more beautiful than any tale had described. Slowly he approached. He knelt beside her bed and took her hand gently in his own. Her skin was warm, soft, alive beneath the spell. Elias spoke, his voice trembling. "If fate wills it, may love awaken you." He leaned close and pressed a soft, gentle kiss upon her fingers. A glow spread through the air, warm, golden, alive. Aurora's eyes fluttered open. She breathed deeply, like one returning from a long dream. She gazed up at him, her eyes filled with wonder. "I dreamed of you," she whispered, "and I searched a lifetime for you," Elias smiled. As their eyes met, the castle stirred awake. Bells rang. Laughter echoed through the halls once more. The king and queen embraced their daughter with tears of joy, and the fairies sang as the sun rose over the thorns. And so, Sleeping Beauty reminds us that even in our deepest slumber, hope never dies. For true love, patient, selfless, and pure, can awaken even the darkest sleep. The end.